Hello, how are you today? I am starting a multi-process project here. So this video could be done in one go, or I might do it, I might upload in 2 or 3 separate videos. Depends on how it goes. And depends on how many times I change my mind and how impatient I am to upload the video. Anyhow, that'll sort itself out as I go along. I don't have a complete plan. I find that I'm really indecisive, so when I do make a plan, I usually end up changing my mind anyway. So today, the plan is to prime this dragon. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. Prime this MDF MDF dragon with gesso. I'm using Liquitex gesso. It's white. And then I'll let that dry, and then I will put a coat of white paint, probably just like acrylic, Artist Loft acrylic flow white, or Pebio's titanium white, one of the two, just a white paint, but gesso first and then the white paint because I want it nice and sealed. I don't want to have any problems with it. I haven't had any problems with my MDF pieces, even with just one coat of paint. But I want to see, I just want to make sure that this is nice and sealed off. So it's not a very exciting process, so I won't make you sit here and watch the whole thing, but I will kind of give you an idea of what I do. I just take my gesso and I squirt it onto the surface, and using a sponge brush, I go along and spread it out. Pretty exciting, very technical. And I either had something on my wood or I had something on my sponge. I thought I cleaned this off before I started, but maybe not good enough. So that's all I do. I'm not going to worry about it being completely smooth because I am planning on putting other mediums on here that are going to add texture to it, so I'm not going to worry about whether or not you can see brush marks or streak marks from my foam brush here, at least not at this point, because I'm still going to put a layer of white on too. But the plan for this dragon is to actually make it quite feminine, so that's why I'm starting with a white base. I don't want to do a dark, dramatic dragon this time around. I want to do something that's kind of pretty and feminine, so it's going to be a lighter colored dragon. And I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to use moonstones or if I'm going to use some kind of texture, other kind of texture like gel sand or modeling paste. Haven't quite decided yet. But I think I am going to use white, sparkle whites, metallic whites, probably some diamond dust, potentially some pinks and purples. I know that's pretty stereotypical feminine colors, but that's what I'm feeling at this moment for it. Especially purple and white. I think I really want a purple dragon. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get the effects on here and what I decide to do with it. But I'll continue to apply the gesso. I'll go around with a brush on the sides, especially in the smaller areas where I can't get in there with the foam and make sure that the entire thing is covered. And just so that you're aware, this dragon has been taped on the back with painter's tape, and then I went around with an X-Acto knife and just cut off all the excess, making sure that I, you know, cut it as cleanly as possible without leaving any marks behind. But I'll go along with my brush. I'll probably do it with the foam brush because it's pretty big, but I'll go along and, you know, make sure that this is all done up. So when I come back, you know, when I come back to do the next part of the video, this will all be ready to go with the white gesso and the white paint, and I will have made a decision on what my next step is going to be. See you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. One of these days I'll remember to speed up my video in my editing app, not on my phone, because that goes way too fast. But that's okay. Painting this wasn't really all that exciting. I took several different colors of purple. I'll list all the colors in the description. And this is all metallic white up here. So now I'm going to go over with a resin layer with some pigments. The first one I'm going to be using is Just Paint Mica Pigments in Crocus Magic. Absolutely beautiful. I was just going to do a sparkle white over everything, but I used these in some coasters and used this color in some coasters, and it is to die for. So I'm going to add a little bit on the resin layer here. And this is Colourarte's Interference pigments in violet. So I'm hoping that against the nice dark purple, it's going to add some pretty cool effects as well. And then also Just Paint Sparkle White. Lovely, sparkly, translucent beautifulness. So I'm going to put my mask on. I'm going to fast forward this part as well because it's a little bit fiddly. I'm going to do it in my editing app, so hopefully it's not 5,000 miles an hour and you actually get to see a little bit of something. And then I'll come back and talk to you once I have this layer on. Oh, I think I'm also going to use a tiny bit of, once I've got it on, I'm going to use a tiny bit of glitter, just some purples that I mixed together. I might not, but I'm also doing the bubble technique on this as well, which I have got inspired from Petra as well, and I'm going to give it a try. But I have to hurry because it has you have to do it within a certain amount of, at the end of the working time with the resin, and I better get going because I'm not that fast at this yet. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I have my bubbles ready. So I just put a squirt of dish soap into a container, a nice wide container, and I blasted it like crazy so that I made lots of bubbles. And I'm being exceptionally careful because I do not want to get water anywhere near my resin. So I just have a couple spoons and I'm going to scoop the bubbles off the surface and gently place them down on the resin. I'm going to leave this dragon here and let the bubbles do their thing. Hopefully there'll be some texture when the bubbles have all dissipated, and we'll pick up again in a little while. Bye. Okay, I am back with the results of my dragon. So the good news is that it's beautiful. The bad news is the bubble technique did not work 100%. It did not leave the texture on the resin that I was hoping. A message back and forth with Petra, and it's probably because I did not wait long enough in the working time of the resin to apply the bubbles, and or I used too much water within the bubbles. I am going to try it again. It's not a complete loss. The bubbles did leave a pattern on the surface of the resin. And I did wash it off, like I did wash the soap residue off and everything, but it did leave these really cool effects. It's not, there's no texture there or anything, but you can see kind of a cool circular effect within the resin. So not a complete loss, and it's still just a beautiful piece. I did go in after and I put on a Swarovski Krystal and did a top coat of clear resin. So there she is. I think she's beautiful, sparkly and purple. There's lots of depth and dimension within the resin because I used the paint on the bottom and then the coordinating resin colors on top and then another clear coat of resin. Look at that, that's pretty cool. And then sparkle white, and I did put in a teeny bit of purple glitter as well, just kind of sprinkled it along in the white. So anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me and watching my video. I hope you like it, and we'll see you again next time.